Hello, students, and happy May 4th to you. We'll start with our do now, where we're going to respond to a prompt about conflict. And then our objective today will be to continue to solve those two-step equations. Our assignment will be to complete the do now. We have actually one page today to complete. Our exit ticket, if you are a distance learner, remember to submit your work on Teams. And if you are in person, make sure you show your work to me. For homework, finish anything you didn't get done. Make sure you send me a photo. And I want you to make sure that you know that Wednesday, May 5th, is SBAC testing for distance learners only. So you will not sign into a meeting, but you will look for and complete an assignment that I put there for you. Our do now is about why conflicts escalate. And our question is, what can cause a minor disagreement to escalate into a major conflict? And thinking about that, is it possible to recognize the signs that an interaction is veering into that danger zone? So think about that and talk about that right there. For our lesson today, we're going to continue with those two-step equations, asking what is happening to the term that has the variable here, what is happening to 4x. 3 is being subtracted, so we're going to add 3, which we will do to both sides of the equation, to give us 4x equals negative 15 plus 3 is negative 12. Now we ask what is happening to x. It's being multiplied by 4. So we will divide by 4. Whatever we do to one side of the equation, we do to the other. And x equals negative 3. Negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. Number 2, what is happening to the 4x is negative 2 is being added. So we're going to add positive 2, being sure to do that to both sides of the equation to keep it in balance. So negative 2 plus 2 are 0. We've moved that 2 to the right. And now we have 4x equals 32. And now we're going to divide both sides of that equation by 4, because x is being multiplied by 4. And as we do that, we isolate x, which now equals 8. Number 3, we have the term n, negative 5n. Our variable n is sandwiched in that term there, but we have 2 being added. So let's subtract the 2 from both sides. That way we can make that equal 0. On the right side, we have 15. On the left side, we have negative 5n. So now we're going to divide both sides of that equation by negative 5 so that we can isolate n, which now equals negative 3. And in number 4, we have our term negative 3m. 4 is being added to it. So we're going to use the inverse operation of subtraction to subtract 4, doing that to both sides of the equation. You always have to do that. Now we are left with negative 3m equals negative 26 minus 4 is negative 30. So m is being multiplied by negative 3, so we will divide by negative 3 in order to isolate m. And when we do that, m equals negative 30 divided by 3, which is a positive 10. Now on number 5, we have the term x being divided by 3, the variable x being divided by 3, and the term is x divided by 3. Let's leave that alone for a minute. Let's move this 2 over to the other side by adding it to the left and adding it to the right side of the equal sign. That will give us this x divided by 3, but that will equal negative 9 plus 2, which is negative 7. Now, to continue on with this problem, we say what's happening to x, and we realize it's being divided by 3. So we will use the inverse operation of multiplying by 3 to clear out the denominator of that fraction. And when we do that, we are left with x equals negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. Again, this is a very similar problem. Number 6, we have our variable here, positive a divided by 2, and we have a 6 with invisible positive sign being added to the a divided by 2. So let's eliminate that 6 by subtracting it, and whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. That will leave us with positive a, being divided by 2, and that equals 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So now what is happening to a? A is being divided by 2, so we'll use the inverse operation of multiplying by 2 to both sides of the equation so that we can isolate a, which now equals negative 4. Number 7, what is happening to the variable? Well, we have v being divided by 20, but before that, we've got this negative 12. So we're going to add that 12 to both sides of the equation, which will cancel it on the left, and negative 11 plus 12 is a positive 1. So now we have v divided by 20 equals 1. So if v is being divided by 20, in order to isolate v, we will multiply by 20. And that would give us v equals 1 times 20, which is 20, as our final answer. Now, number 8, the way to handle this kind of a problem is clear the fraction first. So I'm going to rewrite it over here to give myself a little bit of room. 9 plus y divided by 16 equals negative 2. So the first thing I want to do is clear that fraction by multiplying both sides of the equation by 16. And that gives us 9 plus y equals 2 times 16, which is 32. Now we can isolate that y by subtracting the 9, which we will do from both sides of the equation to get y equals 23. And that is a final answer. Number 9, I'm going to rewrite that problem because I need a little more room. N plus 10 divided by 2 equals 11. So now what I'm going to do is I need to clear that fraction, so I'll multiply both sides of this equation by 2, which clears the fraction and gives me n plus 10 equals 11 times 2 is 22. So now I want to isolate that n, so 10 is being added, so I will subtract 10, knowing that whatever I do to one side, I will do to the other. And in that case, n equals 22 minus 10, which is 12, and that's a final answer. And then finally, the last problem, I'm going to rewrite that. We have x minus 3 divided by 1 equals 0. Well, anything divided by 1 is itself, but we will go ahead and go through the motion of multiplying by 1. So this cancels. X minus 3 equals 1. 0 times 1 is 0, 0. So 0 times 1 is 0. Now, we have to add 3 to both sides because 3 is being subtracted from x. So we'll add it, which gives us x equals 3 as our final answer. So if you finish early, I do have a little digital mandala activity, or I have a clever math game that you could learn and fool your friends with or somebody at home. So I didn't put an exit ticket today because I want you to make sure that you know that you have to tune in to Teams on Wednesday, but not to a meeting. You're just going to do an assignment. If you're a distance learner, you won't be doing any of that. You'll be doing SBAC. So that's all I wanted to cover with you today. Thank you for your attention. And remember, keep working hard because as you do, you'll be great. Thank you and doing a great job.